everyone tonight. Welcome to Living in the Light, and I'm Mary Amy, and I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your truest potential, and cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. Well, here we are. It is February 15th, Wednesday in the Matrix Work Week. How's everyone doing? Anyone who's joining us, thank you for being here. Here we are together. We're going to the light together. We have left the third linear dimension timeline, and we are on our way. We've embarking to the fifth dimension timeline. It's very exciting. I'm so happy that everyone's here tonight. Thank you. Hey, music. 444. Yay. What is that? What is that all about? 444. I know that that's angel number. What does that mean? I don't have my angel chart in front of me. What would that be? I don't know. Anyway, thanks for coming. So tonight we are covering topics like secret space program. We're getting into all that UFO and extraterrestrial because isn't that what's going out in the physical reality? Aren't they talking about it on all the mainstream media? The paid programming, the predictive programming, the brainwashing, crisis, worry, fear. Isn't that what's going on? But we're getting into it on a much more truthful level. It is the time you start to broadcast here in PO. Thank you for sharing that. Well, there you go. That's positive. I've had some positive. There's Elsa. She's getting all excited over here. I've had some very interesting experiences in the last 12 hours. So tonight we're covering, like I said, the secret space program, extraterrestrials join Earthlings, and what are medbeds, medpods. And before we get into that, of course, we're going to cover after that, we're going to cover psychic phenomenon at the 1 hour, if not before. And of course, we're going to touch on angels. Now, why exactly is that? Why do we get into the psychic phenomenon? Because that's how we are actually engaging with more of our truest self, more of our spirit and our heart. And we are uncovering, I guess you could say, secrets within us, hidden treasures, because you are the gold. I don't know if they told you, but your organic version of you, your natural version of you is the gold, your DNA. And as all of you are activated, because you have extraordinary, highly advanced abilities and skills within you that you are uncovering every single day. You're lifting up off all this matrix gobbledygook. You're waking up from your amnesia, from the slumber you've been in, and here you are joining me in the light, in the fifth dimensional timeline. And that's where we're going, and that's how we're going to reach our destiny. And that is how we are going to enjoy and have fun. It's time for us to have fun. That's right. We're not here to suffer. We're not here. Maybe these dark forces that have been covering the beautiful globe. The new earth is repairing itself. The new earth, the new civilization that we are journeying to is going to be one of peace and hope and forgiveness and joy and love. And that's all it's going to be there. That's right. And so together, we have so much power. As individuals, you have personal power that you can pull up from within you. You know, that's why we spend some time doing a little meditation here and there. And we're imagining light at our bottom. You can reach your bottom. Let's do that right now before we get into the topics. Let's close our eyes like we usually do. We're relaxing. We're like a rag doll. And we are letting out a breath. We're inhaling and we're exhaling. And we're inhaling and we're exhaling. We'll do it one more time. Inhaling and we're exhaling. We're pushing away all of the thoughts because we don't need our thoughts. We're tuning into our senses and we're dropping down. And we are going to imagine we are traveling deep down within inside of us Now, maybe that's going to be your physical self. Everyone's going to have an individual experience. It's not going to be exactly how mine is and yours, and everyone's going to experience this differently, whatever it is to you. If you travel down to the bottom, as far as can you reach the bottom of you? Can you find it? For me, I go far, far down, 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 and it takes me a while, and I almost can't even see. It's almost like there's this hole within me that's just so deep. Well, anyway, we'll try to reach the bottom because we want to hit our boundaries, the bottom. And we're going to imagine light, spark of light within us. It could be the size of a quarter, like a stone, a small stone. And this spark of light is at the bottom of our depths. And this spark of light is filling us. It's filling us, and it's magnificent, and it's illuminating, and the light is spreading. It's like contagious within us, and it's a warmth that we have within us, and it's exciting, and it's bringing joy and love within our heart and our spirit. And it's filling up, filling up, filling up, filling up. All of us, all of our physical being, all of our spiritual being, all of our emotional being. And it's coming all the way up within our physical body and every other aspect of us. And this light is present, and we feel safe, and we feel pure, and we feel hopeful. And this light gives us a chance to have experiences we've never had. And it's adding to our dimensions. It's helping us evolve. It's spreading like wildfire within us. And it's beyond our physical body now, this light. And this light is bright and shining. And this light is uncovering all the darkness within us. Anything that's an issue within us, it's shining light on us. And it's helping us get through it. And I'd like you to keep this light within you. I'm suggesting that this light stays within you as long as possible. Try to have that sensation. Go back to it. Maybe a few minutes after we've spoken about this, go back to it, and then remind yourself a little bit more. And you might encounter having a mystical experience after this, or some kind of dream tonight that uncovers something within you, a hidden truth, a solution to something. And it will give you more peace than you've had before this light. So just try with all your might and focus to concentrate and keep this light within you. Like why I'm talking right now, and you open your eyes, just see this light within you. Maybe you'll activate your third eye, your mind's eye. Whatever this is for you is all it's supposed to be. Now, sometimes we receive information when we're ready. We don't receive it before that. So I could be saying this to you today, and maybe down the line, days now, weeks now from now, you remember this experience, this little activity, and then you're ready for the information that I just shared. Right? Okay. So dreams. Did anyone have any dreams last night? I don't even remember my dreams. I must be traveling in the astral world, and there's a lot going on. Am I battling? What's going on when I'm sleeping? I'm not quite sure what's going on when you're sleeping. I am keeping track of my dreams. They are very vivid, and your dreams can uncover your fears, and your dreams can help you have more strength in your waking life and more of an understanding of exactly who you are and what's the path that you're supposed to take. Also, what are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts that you sense are negative? Because we can control our thoughts. This is all we can control. We can't control what's going on out here in the physical reality. We can control what's going on here, can't we? What's going on within us. So let's get into the Secret Space Program. The Secret Space Program, what exactly is that? Well, yesterday we spoke about some of what's going on out there, and we spoke about the different UFOs and some of these UFO sightings they've had, and they've been shooting down UFOs, and we're going to speak about that in a little bit. But the Secret Space Program, it's designed by our government, and they said that actually began way back when. It as far back as the 1930s. So the secret space program is secret Earth governments, usually the military. It is the military. So the secret space program is a program that was designed so that they basically don't have anyone overseeing it. And there is accountability in that. They have raised funds for it. And they say we wanted to be the first one to the moon, the first one in space. Now, whether or not space is exactly what we perceive it to be beyond the clouds, reaching up to the moon or the sun or out into our solar system, the Milky Way, all the other planets, I'm not quite sure, because you know that I'm a truth seeker, and unless I can see it for myself in the physical reality, or I have an experience personally, I kind of don't know if I believe it. So, the secret space program is secret intelligence officers and former astronauts, government whistleblowers have given insight to exactly what the secret space program is. So the beginning of it, in June 24, 1947, anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel and share in the comments beyond this live chat that we're having. Write a comment when you're watching it. Just give us some, information that you have so that we can all kind of, I guess, become more aware, and what I can receive on my own is limited. So maybe you can share some kind of data or knowledge that I don't have or I don't know anything about. So the beginning of the secret space program, June 24th, 1947, pilot Kenneth Arnold spotted a group of flying saucers at an incredible speed. 1947. So Arnold landed in Washington to try to figure out exactly what these flying saucers were, and he labeled them. He's the first to label flying saucer. That's when UFO sightings began. Now, we all know about the crash at Roswell. So the crash at Roswell, it looked like probably something like this. And of course, within the flying saucer were 4 extraterrestrials, aliens as they call them. And at the crash, which was in Roswell, New Mexico, the rumored mysterious craft crashed in the desert, and there was 3 dead extraterrestrial bodies, 3 aliens, 3 little gray aliens. And a gray alien kind of looks like, see if I have any gray aliens here. I took all the, maybe right here we have a little gray alien. This probably is what these are kind of similar to what a gray alien looks like. A gray alien, we tend to believe that they're little men, and they have huge eyes and huge skulls, and they don't really have much of a nose or ears or a mouth, and they speak to us through telepathy, which is how many extraterrestrials speak, if not all of them, unless you can learn to communicate and channel and understand what they're saying. So there was 3 dead bodies and 1 living. And the U.S. Air Force initially admitted that the spaceship was a spaceship. And then 24 hours later, they recanted and said in the headlines it was a weather balloon. And that's so funny, because right now we've kind of experienced in our timeline right now in the 2023 year, we experienced a weather balloon traveling from China to the United States. Whether or not that's true or not, I think it's kind of silly. I don't know what that was. Seems like a little bit of a distraction, maybe a setup. Something was not on the up and up, was it? Heck no. So anyway, back this crash of Roswell in 1947, there was debris taken from this site, and witnesses claim materials were incredibly strong and could take unusual forms. Now, the crash debris and bodies were taken to Patterson Air Force Base, and 1 living body. Now, from what I understand, some of this metallic-looking debris you could crush it in your hands. You could crush it, and then it would all of a sudden open up and be completely flat and lie flat. And it was very strong. And there was more than one witness that left the site, and the military was not aware of it, and they had proof, they had evidence of this spaceship crash. Now, there was another whistleblower in another situation that claims humans have been traveling to Mars for decades. That red planet, Mars, they say that humans have been traveling for decades. In fact, the quote is, there exists a shadowy government with its own Air Force, its own Navy, its own fundraising mechanism, and the ability to pursue its own ideas of national interest, free from all checks and balances and free from the law itself. And that was by Senator Daniel K. Inouye. And he says that there's a shadowy government. Do you think there's a shadowy government? I wonder how everything's going. Can everyone see me okay? Because it seems to be a little fuzzy. Is it a little fuzzy? Can anyone tell me? Just checking. Okay, so there was also another whistleblower, and he released a statement detailing human activity on Mars. Now, the surface of the red planet for a long, long time, he said, that we have, this whistleblower, Corey Good, claims that we've had human activity on Mars for a long, long time. Now, we know that that's been something that the scientist von Braun, who is from Project Paperclip, one of the Nazi scientists that was brought over, who created the NASA, the space program, he had spoken and written a book about Mars, and he said that someone named Elon was going to go to Mars. Now, was this a foreshadowing? Because here we have Elon Musk, who's been trying and speaking about going to Mars. But have we already visited Mars? Because whistleblower Corey Good released a statement detailing human activity on Mars. Now, he says, I quote, Mars was first visited by the Germans as far back as the 1930s, but during the 70s, U.S. space programs were actively exploring Mars and other planets to establish bases. Now, like I say, do I know this to be true? Not unless I see it with my own eyes. Maybe you're like me. I'm a truth seeker. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and I'm a rebel. Right? And so do I believe it's possible? I believe it is, because I'm going to get into some channeling that happened to me in the last 12 hours that I have to say, oh my gosh, what's going on here? Now, there's been what's called Project Solar Warden. And Project Solar Warden, let me share some other, because you know that I love to have visuals for everyone. Does anyone know what this is? This is a gray alien, isn't it? It's a gray alien. Do you see that gray alien? That's a gray alien. He doesn't look so happy. Maybe he's that gray alien that they kept at Area 51. And all they did was trap him, and he was from the future. And they say that a lot of these extraterrestrials, all of these extraterrestrials are from our future, and they're traveling back here. So Project Solar Warden, we're speaking of the secret space program. Shh, shh. Project Solar Warden, in operation since the late 1990s, is responsible for monitoring all incoming and outgoing traffic, or monitoring alien traffic in the solar system. So I guess what they're trying to say is that there's been aliens, extraterrestrials traveling back and forth to planet Earth. Now, I've heard that below in the underground tunnels, that's where the reptilians and draconians live. And some of these other aliens live on Antarctica, which I have a picture here somewhere, which I will show you. Where is that picture? Well, I'm going to get into Antarctica in a minute anyway. Now, where is it? Oh my goodness, I have it here somewhere. I'm going to find it. I really want to show that, because that was from the My goodness. My goodness gracious. Where is it? Oh, Lordy. Here it is down here. Okay. All right, so let me get back to this. So this solar warden. So Gary McKeon, I'm sharing all these whistleblowers who have all this information. Gary McKeon hacked into the computers of the U.S. Space Command. I don't know if you know about this. And found out the existence of non-terrestrial officers along with a fleet of what's called solar warden. And what he did was he got charged with military computer hacking by the Bush Justice Department. He was another whistleblower, and he shared information. And he spoke of 8 cigar-shaped motherships, 43 small scout ships that operated under the Air Force Space Command. Now, I'm not quite sure if that is our fleet or a fleet of extraterrestrial UFOs. There was also called the Dark Fleet, which was a German secret space program. All dark shade, Dark Fleet works with the Draconian Federation Alliance out of the solar system. And the last one that I'm going to mention is the Interplanetary Corporate Conglomerate, the ICC. Sounds so official, doesn't it? The secret space program. So Good says Nazis from Antarctica, and that's why I'm going to share the picture of Antarctica, because here we are. This is Antarctica in the 1950s. And what does that look like to you? That looks like a UFO. Funny, I printed this out in my job in the Matrix, and my boss said, "What's that UFO doing in the emails?" Because I was printing it out. And then someone said, "That was Mary." And that's me. Here I am printing it out at work. And so there was primarily advanced technology, human breakaway civilizations from other star systems, corporations to create an infrastructure in our solar system. 100 colonies, bases, plants on the moon, Mars, and other moons. They say that there is a secret space program going on in Antarctica, and this is a photo from the 1950s of a UFO that was in Antarctica. So you consider that. This is all information. I'm making suggestions and sharing information that is important for us to know about, because right now everyone out in the Matrix is talking about UFOs. I don't believe that those UFOs that they're speaking of are necessarily, I'm going to get into that in 1 second, extraterrestrials, join Earthlings, are not necessarily really UFOs. I'm going to tell you what I believe them to be, which I believe them to be from the secret space program. Okay. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I know I'm starting late. I've been going through some stuff and I've been pretty busy, but I'm here, aren't I? And you can watch this on a replay. So extraterrestrials join Earthlings. What are we speaking of? Well, there's been these UFO sightings. The U.S. has taken down a UFO off the coast of Alaska. Now, did they look like this? Hey, Bob Harding, how are you? How are you tonight? Now, with the UFOs that are they even showing us what the UFOs look like? No. I saw a picture with a boat and something they're pulling into the boat from the water. Now, let me share with you. Number one, first of all, there's no UFOs that are getting shot down, because UFOs are traveling far faster than anything that we can manufacture and produce ourselves. Do we have our own secret space program? Yes. But is our secret space program the equivalent of a UFO, an unidentified flying object, one of these? Absolutely not. So they're not shooting down anything. That leads me to believe there's something else going on. Eureka, I found gold here. What I believe it to be is that, so the USA shot down, they say, takes down a UFO off Alaska. Then a Canadian plane destroys a UFO over the border of the Yukon Territory, and then another UFO over Montana is shot down. That sounds a little fishy to me, doesn't it? What is the I think it's a distraction. Like I always say, look over here. Don't look over there. Look over here, because they don't want us to see. Or they say, look over there. Don't look over here, because they don't want us to pay attention. They want to distract us. How much sillier could we be that we don't realize this? Well, those out in the matrix that have been brainwashed, they've been programmed, they can't see. They're not paying attention. They're not thinking out of the box. They're not climbing out of the matrix like we have and looking down and saying, you guys, do you see what kind of ridiculous stuff you've been listening to? I'm realizing what kind of ridiculous stuff that is on the news, on the mainstream media. So then the Chinese media says flying object in our airspace. So all of these events in one weekend of February 2023, you start to question what exactly is going on. Let me share with you, the extraterrestrials are already here. They're already here. They're already made contact. They've been around, and our secret space program knows that. So what is this little plan that they've devised to kind of get us off track? Well, it could be a few explanations. It could be, let's say, these are loose ideas that are coming out of me. Maybe Bob Harding has some kind of thoughts about it, or music, or anyone else who's joining us this evening. Maybe it's that they are breaking it to us slowly, disclosure, 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 so people become more acquainted with this concept. That's one. Two, it might be, it's definitely not real UFOs. Two, it might be the beginning of what we mentioned last night, Project Blue Beam, a fake alien invasion. However, it's pretty lame fake alien invasion, because we're not seeing anything scary. They're saying that not necessarily there's any extraterrestrials involved, which who's manning these UFOs? So that could be two. And then the three is it's actually I don't know. Does anyone have any options? So I have two ideas. Let me see, was there a third? It's either that they are trying to distract us from something, create a fake alien invasion, or get us prepared to receive real UFOs. Now, there's what's called, they say, the white hats and the black hats. And they believe those other YouTubers and other truth seekers believe that there are white hats that are behind a lot of these distractions, most likely. Okay, thank you, music. They believe that the white hats have been taken over all of this lawlessness and all of this nefarious events and I guess activities, and in other words, that the villains have been maybe put on trial. They maybe have been imprisoned. I'm not quite sure. I do sense, though, that there's definitely a shift. There's definitely a huge, huge shift because, for example, here I speak about a lot of topics you're not allowed to speak about, although I do know that my work is censored. So I don't know, I don't have a widespread audience. It seems to get all over the globe. However, it never really kind of reaches any kind of height. Maybe that's to come, doesn't matter, one by one. So I guess what we could do is we could consider that this is an example of the direction we're going. And we might kind of want to embrace this if if the public is talking about this more and more. I don't sense that it's going to be a full-on fake alien invasion because they haven't done that. They would have done that already. Because this is a really lame example of it. If it is, it looks like what, a little paper airplane that they shot down. I don't know. It's silliness. So extraterrestrials are here already. And so the search for extraterrestrial life is underway. It's definitely been underway, and we have made contact. Now, have you been contacted yourself? Have you been contacted in any form? Maybe you've received a light code. Maybe you've channeled another entity. I did a few interviews in the last few Saturdays, and we've had channelers. I had the one channeler, and she channeled a consciousness, a group of consciousness, Athena and Truth. And then last Saturday, I had channeler Jilly Clark, and she channels angels. And she also channels extraterrestrials. She calls them light beings. And these light beings, maybe you could say they look like this, or they look like this. So this is actually an Andromedan. This is an Arcturian. I think this is maybe this is an Arcturian. This is an Arcturian. And so what exactly is channeling? I kind of want to get into this because I want to share a personal experience that I had, which seems otherworldly. It seems supernatural to me. It seems unexpected. However, I want to share with you that I've had and received light codes, which are downloads. They're ancient healing codes. And it's when your DNA comes online as you ascend, which means that you're starting to come from a place of more love in your heart. And you're leaving this existence, this very dark experience that we've had since birth, which pertains to, there's always a villain, there's always looking over your shoulder, there's always competition, consumerism, capitalism, the 3 C's. And you're always kind of racing to the next task to keep your head above water, because it's very challenging to be able to keep money in your bank account, because as we've realized, everything's more and more expensive every single day. Food's expensive, our mortgages, our rent, our clothing, our transportation, everything is very expensive monetarily. And so how do we keep up with that? Well, there's a lot of worrying going on. You always really have to kind of have one part of your mind on what's going on here, and the other part of your mind on thinking about money, money, money. Now, if you're lucky enough to have an experience or come into an opportunity that you have so much money that you don't have to worry, that's lovely. But then there's the regular Joes out there like you and maybe you and me and some others, and we have to constantly think about that. And so we have to say, do I buy the milk or do I put gas in my car? And it's like that. And so how did I get onto this topic? I kind of got lost a little bit. I'm talking about how we are, I guess, about leaving this reality. So I've been actually on my own considering that I should come from a different perspective. And that's what I've been doing in the last, I guess, 3 years or more so. But it's really hit me in the last, since 2021, November 24th, 2021. I shared with you, I had one of my first experiences channeling, not channeling necessarily, but receiving telepathic information from an outside source when I'm just waking up or going to sleep. And then I went on to have, I would say, 50 to 75 of these experiences. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because this particular looking creature, this entity, we'll say light being, something that looks very similar to this, but in a masculine form, maybe more so, I would say, like this without this little goatee thing going on, something like this, bald and blue head, reached out to me today was the 3rd time. And I'm sharing, this is channeling. So channeling is communication between humans, maybe angelic beings, nature spirits, non-physical entities, higher self, and extraterrestrials. I know this sounds really unusual. But I now had interviews with these other channelers. So lo and behold, it happened to me today. And that's what I'm sharing. So it's nonverbal communication from another being and translates into the human words from a source said to exist on another level or another dimension of reality than the physical as we know it. So it's like we've been doing, where you're receiving information from another source, an outside source, and it's said to exist on another reality in another dimension. The entity does not have to enter the body or mind of the channeler. It might be millions of light years away or even in another dimension. Now this sounds mind-boggling, doesn't it? And when I was speaking to these channelers, like for example Jilly on Saturday, I kind of said, oh my goodness, what is this? And Jilly channeled, she channeled the mother, Mother Mary, and she also spoke about channeling other entities, other dimensional entities. She called them light beings. So I'll share with you what happened to me today. I was at the gym and I received 2 bits of information. Now I'm just doing a regular workout at the gym, and all of a sudden I'm leaning on the step, and this is a personal experience. Stay with me. And I'm leaning on the step and I'm moving my legs, and all of a sudden this download came into my mind. And this download was about med beds. I'm going to share with you that in just a minute, but I'm going to get on to the extraterrestrial. So the first was related to med beds, which I'm going to get into. The second was related, all of a sudden, this being came through. Now this being of light that was blue, like this. So maybe you could say that I traveled like this. I did some kind of traveling to another reality and it traveled to me because I did not intentionally have this happen. It was definitely intentionally came to me. And so this being that had reached out to me 2 separate other times. One time I received this being and this extraterrestrial, and it tried communicating with me, and it was talking really fast at me, and I could hear it talking. And I could hear it speaking, but I didn't know what the language was. I had no idea. And there was all this cast of other extraterrestrials standing behind it and speaking to me. And then I said, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. And that was months ago. And then I guess it was 2 weeks ago, maybe last weekend, again, the same extraterrestrial, I call a light being, and I believe it to be an Andromedan. Looks like similar to this, except in male form. Call him he. He showed up last weekend, and this time I was half asleep, and he started speaking to me, and I was communicating back and forth in his language, in their language, which was sounds and tones. It was light language, which is what Jilly Clark spoke of on Saturday during my interview on my channel. And I woke myself up speaking, and it was so strange because when I was half asleep, I understood and I could communicate in this other language. But when I fully woke up, I couldn't really grasp exactly how you speak that way, because it's more of a mind to mind. Okay, now my third experience was today at the gym. And I've had the first download related to the med beds, the med pods. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for joining us. Whoever you are, I can't see who you are, so it's okay. You don't have to hide from me. All I see is like or visitors. That's all I see. And so the second download today was I heard, I saw this same being in male form, and he again started to try to communicate with me. And I said, I don't understand what you're saying. I can't understand you. And then I tried to adjust my vibration, my frequency, and I guess he did as well. And all of a sudden, the information flowed into my mind, what he was saying. And I could hear him. And so I was like, oh my gosh, is this a real thing? Is this really happening? I'm not sleeping. I'm wide awake. I'm actually at the gym and this is happening to me. And then I said, well, I got to get home and I got to get to my job in the Matrix. So I really had to put it on the shelf. I had to put it on the shelf, but I was very curious about this. And when I got home from my job in the Matrix tonight, I sat down and I said, well, it's right there. I can see him. I can channel. I can tune into him. And then he shared with me his name. And his name is, I saw the spelling. It's Aratrac, Aratrac. And I went on to actually tape a conversation and how it works for me. So I've now entered channeling, like legit channeling. And how it works is I can actually tune into him. And I saw him with all the other extraterrestrials. And he at first I could hear what he was saying to me. And then I started as myself asking questions and then him giving me a response through me. So how does this work? There's no lapse in times. I'm receiving the information and then it's coming right out of me. And it's very surprising. I didn't know I was capable of that. Wow, I know, right? Bob Harding, it's bizarro. So I will do this. I will share this with you. What's a wonderful experience. Thank you for telling me. It is. And then I went on to reach out to someone that I'm very close to share this experience. And then I had her, I said, well, if you ask me a question, I can answer through Aratrac. And then she said, because she's also intuitive like I am, we started to do that. And she says, no, I can't take his energy at all. I don't want to do this. And she freaked out. She says, I'm getting pain from him. So that was very interesting. Now, maybe because I've adjusted and I've met him 3 times, we also have different, obviously, we have different vibrations that we're carrying. So I said to her, okay, wait, let's try a different way. And so I asked her if she could ask me the question and then I would ask it to him. And then he would give a response. And then we started doing that. And then he figured out a way, I guess, a roundabout way to directly have me answer the question. So it was very interesting. And I have this on tape. Make sure this entity is of pure intent. You're so funny, music. Yes, it's of pure intent. It's definitely of pure intent. Because everything, this extraterrestrial, this light being, I'll call it a being of light, was speaking of, was of pure intent. And I appreciate your concern. Thank you so much. So that was my experience today. And I think what I'll do is in the future when I'm ready, because today I'm kind of exhausted. I already asked him, we'll call him a him, questions. And he did say I can come to him anytime and ask him. But I sense that enough was enough for today. But I will definitely do that another day. And if you want to come up with any questions, I will give you a heads up, and then that day you can start putting the questions in the chat, and then I will ask directly. And you can see, because my voice pattern shifts, I sound definitely more robotic, and my sound of my voice kind of changes too. It's very interesting. And I was fearful of doing anything like this because I thought that the entity kind of consumes you, and it doesn't. It's on the outside. It does sound fun. So maybe in the next day or two, we'll do that this week. Okay, so the other thing that came through, now I'm going to share with you, this is very interesting. Now, the first download that I received, we're going to talk about med beds, and that's what this is about. Med beds, med pods. I received another download, and it was directly from Divine. It was Divine, and this morning in the gym. And then I will get on to psychic phenomenon because we're going to hit the 1 hour mark. Well, this is what happened to me. So this was the first download that I received in the gym today, the first bit of information. It was regarding med beds, med pods. Now, I don't know if anyone out there has heard of a med bed. They say a med bed is this capsule that, basically it's a bed, and you lay down and then a cover comes over you, right? And it looks kind of oval. And then allegedly they say that you lay down in it and that you're healed and you're more youthful. And I've been hearing about these med beds, and there are those that claim, there's humans out there that claim that they have this technology of a med bed. And I've watched some of these shows that are, I guess you could say, an infomercial or a telecast, a podcast, and they speak about these med beds. And they say you lay down and then it's this healing mattress, whatever they want to say it is. I never believed that any of that was the alleged med bed. Now, the med bed is really something that's highly advanced technology they say, from the extraterrestrials. Now, maybe there's patents out there with this. We know Nikola Tesla. I spoke about Nikola Tesla last week, and there's this platform that he designed that you'd stand on, and it had this frequency, this vibration. And at first, you had to adjust yourself to it because it was maybe too powerful for you, and that everything within you healed all your ailments, all your issues. And I've also mentioned there's these machines that you can put on different parts of your body to heal your parts of your body. There was one machine that you either hold the sticks, like there's 2 sticks, you hold it, and they have a frequency and vibration, and it heals you. And I even looked in New York City to see if I could find one of these clinics that has that. I still wasn't satisfied. Now today, ask and you shall receive. The first download that I received was, this is what I saw, and I'm going to draw a picture because I couldn't find anything like it. So what I saw was, I saw all of this light. And we did an exercise last night, and we spoke about reaching to the galactic chakra. Now, maybe that's why this happened. Did anything happen to you? I said 48 inches from your crown chakra. Every 12 inches is another one of your outside your body chakras. And 48 inches up. I said, let's go 48 inches up. Is your chakra, your galactic chakra, which is the communication with ascended masters, healing, teleportation, biolocation, time and space in humanity. And so I imagined a circle of light there. And then I tuned into my clairsenses, which is always my hearing, my clairaudience, my clairsentience, my feeling. And I tuned in, and I right away saw light. So I looked down when I was receiving my impressions, like we do when we practice, right? I saw all this light. And then what I do is I put my view up, and I saw all of this light, and it was so powerful that it affected me. This was yesterday when we did the exercise yesterday. And it must have had some kind of impact on me, because today in the gym, the download was, all of a sudden, I saw all of this light. Now, there was no beginning and end, like in my yesterday when I did the exercise. There was no horizon, there was no floor, there was no ceiling. But what I saw was all light. And then I saw people, and I was one of the people helping, escorting humans into what looked like, it was like this, looked like these. And then there was many more of them. Now this is like, try to imagine. Okay, so what I saw was, so I saw these, they look like bubble pods, like this. Okay, so let's say this is, we'll say this is like the ground here, right? So here's the ground. So it would be like right here next to me was this big, kind of oval shaped, and they were also of light. There were these pods. That's why I'm calling them med pods. And there was people were being escorted into these, and that was what it looked like. That's what I was told, that the extraterrestrials have what's called med pods, and they look like bubbles like this, and then you just walk into them and then you're healed. That's what I heard. That's what I saw. And so the arrival of the med pods technology are capsules you walk into, which work by utilizing the power, frequency, energy, and vibration to heal. This frequency cannot even be perceived by humans' ears, as it is beyond the spectrum of human hearing. The frequency can be targeted and tweaked depending on what needs to be cured and healed. It's exciting, right? The technology originated with the Arcturians. Most extraterrestrial races have formed a collective consciousness. This technology is capable of reading the consciousness. This technology is capable of reading the consciousness of these beings and to get access to the collective consciousness. So you're healing when you're stepping into one of these med pods. We'll call them a med capsule, a med pod, whatever you would like to call it, but it looks like a bubble, doesn't it? And they're light. After these med pods become available to humanity, there will no longer be a need for pharmaceutical companies. Now, if this technology is already here, I don't believe with all the money and currency and bank that all the pharmaceutical companies are receiving, and the deep state, and I guess you could say anyone who is in any financial power, they're not going to really want this, because then it's going to eliminate all of their money. If we all have a way to heal ourselves, just like if we have technology that we don't need gasoline or oil, or we don't need electricity, it's going to eliminate all the power, isn't it? Because we're going to be free. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I don't want to keep things, secret. I want to share with you any kind of experiences I'm having, because maybe that actually will help you to kind of be more, I guess, more apt to allow all of this to come into your space and time and being. All right, so let's get on to psychic phenomenon. Now, before I do that, I want to remind you of light on the horizon. Good things are coming beyond our vision. I wonder if I can remove You know what? Maybe if you ask, maybe it's possible. Anything's possible at this juncture, isn't it? So light on the horizon. Good things are coming beyond our view. A difficult situation will improve. This is all about realizing you have hope. It's about seeing a sunrise in the morning or a sunset at night, going out into nature 5 to 15 minutes, standing on the roots of a tree barefoot and putting your hands on the tree and asking for, I guess, grounding, asking for some kind of message. I always close my eyes and put my hands on a tree, and I always look for some kind of answers and validation. And we want to kind of realize that all the dark stuff's behind us. We have to live in this moment and have gratitude and realize that we can find love and joy in our hearts. We don't have to initiate or engage with those that have negative attitudes, negative energy, low vibration. We want to raise our vibration. We want to spend more time in love. Like before you go to sleep at night, be in love. Tune into someone in your life that you love, have love for. That's how you go off to sleep. And you probably will have very positive dreams and maybe bring some happiness into your waking self. Because when we wake up, first moments we wake up, if we don't feel good, if we're kind of coming from a place where we feel down, it might kind of destroy our whole day. It might carry over. We might be glum and dull. We want to kind of lift ourselves up. Every single day is a new adventure, new possibilities. Now, let me remind you of your 5 humongous goals. Have you been keeping track of your 5 humongous goals? Are we checking them off? And what are they? Is it going to lead you to your destiny? You can have your destiny right here in this moment, in the palm of your hand. What are you seeing? Close your eyes. Envision it right here. What is your destiny? What exactly do you want? What's the biggest, most humongous dream that you ever could imagine? A wish that you want, something that will bring happiness into you, serenity, hope. What is that exactly? That's what we want to be considering. We don't want to wake up and be like, everything's terrible. Oh, my life sucks. We don't want that. We want to wake up and be like, we have so much to look forward to. I'm so grateful for this moment. I'm here and I'm breathing and I'm lucky to be here. And I have so many wonderful opportunities before me. Now, if you sense that you don't and you wake up and you say, really sad, I don't know how to overcome it. You have to figure out why that is. You have to look at it. You have to get a piece of paper. Get a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper, and get a pen and write down what your problem is. Write it down. Write it down and then look at it and say, is that something I can overcome? Is it blocking me from my destiny? Can I achieve happiness? Because guess what? No one out there in the physical reality really cares. Like I say, maybe a mom cares about a baby or a child, but no one really cares because guess what? They are on their own path. They are on their own journey. And it's tough for everyone. We are all trying to survive. We are all going to be survivors of 2023, just like we were survivors of 2022. And let me remind you, this is the gold, the organic, natural version of you, not artificial, not man-made. No brain chips, no ID chips, none of that. Forget about it. Have discernment. If you hear like within you, like, no, don't do that, then don't do it. You have an intuition. So let's get into our psychic phenomenon. I think that's a good way to bridge into that, isn't it? So have you been practicing psychic phenomenon? Why are we doing this? Why are we practicing? Because the more that you really tune into what's going on within you, the more chance you'll have a vision like maybe something I had, or a premonition. You might have a mystical experience, something really kind of, I don't know, excites you, resonates with you. Remind yourself of your 3 authentic characteristics. Maybe you have the most beautiful brown eyes. Maybe you're an amazing writer. You have at least 3, you probably have 100. Remind yourself of that. So your psychic phenomenon is really all about your extrasensory perception. Everyone has that within them. It's not a big surprise. It's not some kind of big mysterious thing. All you're doing is tuning into your senses, which is your hearing, your smell, your taste, your third eye, your mind's eye, your heart, your claircognizance. You know so much more than you're willing to accept because you've been told like, hey, that's really silly. That's ridiculous. Really? You're kind of kooky. You really believe that you can be psychic or intuitive or empathic? Well, you can. Absolutely. Now, as soon as you start to accept that, the more you accept it, the more it will come into your being. The more that you have experiences like the ones that I share with you. You must have self-confidence. This is within you. Now, my gifts and my abilities are going to be completely different than your gifts and your abilities, and the way you channel it, the way you receive information are as well. So let's practice some psychic phenomenon right now because we are hitting the 1 hour mark. I'm Mary Amy, and this is Living in the Light. And tonight we've covered secret space programs, extraterrestrials, join Earthlings, and the med beds and the med pods. And here we are, psychic phenomenon. So are you experiencing impressions? Now, the more we practice, we're going to get right into it. I'm not going to talk too much about it because you already know if you're here joining us. The more that you practice one of these clear senses, the more you tune in, the more you have confidence, the more you have concentration. And you push away your thoughts, because when your thoughts take you somewhere, they're taking what you've learned visually. They're taking you what you've been programmed to see. Like, in other words, here's a cup. Here's a cup. This is a mug. That's what your eyes are telling you. Now, your senses are going to be capable of realizing frequencies, sounds, tones, vibrations, and energies that your eyesight is not going to share with you. Your eyesight is programmed and taught by everything in the matrix. So it's going to trick you, your eyesight. It's not going to be intuitive. Your eyesight is not going to make you intuitive. Only your senses are. So let's do a little exercise together right now. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to close your eyes. Let out a breath. Like we always do. We're just like a rag doll. And we're going to tune into some of our clear senses. And we are going to have an experience like no other, because we are now advancing our levels, and we probably are capable of so much more. So we're going to stay in the moment a little bit more today, because I sense it's time, and you have the patience to do that, don't you? All right, so we're going to relax. We're like a rag doll. And we're going to really sit wherever you are. If you're laying down or sitting, I really want you to sit in the space. I really want you to make contact with wherever you're sitting, so that you really are realizing all of your being, all of your physical being, right? Because when you realize all of your physical being, you're actually being more aware of all your boundaries, all of your own energy. So let's relax, and let's really sit down in the chair and feel our heaviness, feel our depth. Feel our dimensions. And then I'd also like you to now really connect with your hands and your arms. And what are you feeling? Do you feel any kind of vibrations running through your fingertips, through your arms? Do you feel also the heaviness of your arms if you relax them? Because we're really relaxing, all of us. And now I'd like you to also take some breaths in, in and out. So we'll do 3 of those together to really focus in on our breathing, some deep breathing. And maybe even feel the breathing in your lungs, the air in and out of your lungs, and concentrate on that. So I'm breathing in through my nose. Until all of the air is empty in your lungs. You just feel very relaxed. And then try it again. And continue to realize the heaviness of your weight in the chair or wherever you are, the heaviness, so that you have your whole entire being, that you're really realizing the physicality of yourself. We'll do 1 more breath in and out. Like an airbag emptying out. All right, so now we're really going to relax our neck and our head so that we take away any kind of weight. So we can even have our head droop down a little bit, because we really want to relax our physical being so that we kind of get to a place of complete stillness and relaxation. Okay, so you're letting your head just drop down. Not so much that you're preventing yourself from breathing though, okay? So just, as much as you can, but don't cut off your breathing in your neck. All right, so now I would like you to, we're pushing away the thoughts. We don't need any thoughts. We're sending those away. Imagine sending your thoughts away out into the universe, far, far from you, so they can't even invade your space. Your thoughts are going far, far away, like a bubble, whoop, just floating away. All right, so now I would like you to, now really, you've joined in with your body, your physical body, you feel yourself in the chair. I'd like you to just really take all of your energy and just drop the energy that you have down into your physical senses, your senses of your hearing. So as you're dropping down, you're making physical contact. You have self-confidence. You have a belief you can do this. You're really in control. You're very much in control and you have expanded awareness. So you're very much aware of what I'm saying right now. And you just tap right into your hearing right now. I sense you can do this. You're tuning into your hearing right now. And you're imagining you have this very extraordinary ability to hear beyond this space that you're in, way beyond the space that you're in, out into another dimension. And that's how strong your hearing has become. Now I'd like you to just tap right into your feeling. You can tune right into your heart, and all of a sudden you have this amazing, sensitive ability to feel. You have this, you're beyond what you ever could imagine. You can feel so much, you can feel everything. You can feel every bit of pieces of nature outside your home or wherever you are, every tree, exactly how the tree is feeling with its roots in the ground. When the tree's branches reach out into the sky, you can feel what the branches are feeling. You can also feel what night is like. When darkness comes, you can feel the peace of darkness, and you feel every single star in the sky and the brightness that it has. So you're feeling everything in nature all at once. So your senses are becoming very, very aware and strong and vivid. And now I'd like you to, if you can, if you've activated, I'd like you to tune into your clairvoyance. And so what are you seeing? You're seeing this light tunnel that is actually right there in your forehead. And this light tunnel is actually, you step into this tunnel of light, and this tunnel of light is weaving in and out through the cosmic universe. And this tunnel of light is going to wherever you ask it to go. And this tunnel of light is giving you impressions. And it's giving you impressions of the past, the present, the future, and other dimensions, and other beings, and other realities. All right, so now that we've tapped into some of our clear senses, I'm going to give you a suggestion, and you can choose which one, because we are really focused and concentrating and expanding our senses to a degree that we've never imagined, a level that we've never imagined that we could go to, but we can do it, and we are doing it. And each of us are going to receive information personally. So my suggestion tonight is, wow, I'm getting flashes. My suggestion is you pick one of your senses, maybe one of the ones that we just mentioned or another one. Now let me remind you that you are sitting in the chair and all your weight is in the chair. You have vibrations and frequencies running through your arms, and you have this energy about you. You also have pushed away, you sent out into a bubble any thoughts that you've had, and now you've dropped down into your physical senses. and tapped into your clairsenses. So the suggestion that I'm making for you right now is that you are going to see yourself in the future as far as you can imagine. And maybe that's going to take you to 2030. Maybe that's going to take you to 2050. But you're going to see yourself in your future. And what kind of being are you? So let's see what impressions you receive. And I'm going to be quiet. And I'm going to tune in myself. I might be quiet a little bit longer than usual, so prepare for that. So just stay in there as you receive maybe an impression of a mental image, a sensation, a sound, a voice, a picture. Now stay there as long as you can, even if it's something that kind of freaks you out a little bit. Just stay there and have concentration. All right, so the suggestion is your future self in 2030, 2050. Those are my suggestions. Okay, so I received some information. I don't know if you received any. And it was interesting because it was a combination. I went to 2030. It was a combination of, it seemed like I was remote viewing something that was happening, but then I also received some sadness. So it was a combination of something that seemed very fun, but then also something in my future that's going to be very sad. And I don't want to kind of expound on that because it's personal, but I don't know if you received anything. And I just know that every time that we practice this, we are really exercising our mindset. We are exercising our ability to see things from a different perspective. And that's what I believe is what the value of it is. And so I hope that this was a good experience for you tonight. And I'm happy that everyone who joined us. And I will be back again tomorrow. It's Thursday. I want good things for you. And I'm wishing you light and love and personal serenity. And I appreciate everyone who's here, and I have gratitude. So I'm spinning light, and you're in the center of it, and you're making a wish. And you choose whatever that wish is. It can be something that you've always wanted. Maybe it's something related to your personality or your physical being, or something materialistic, or something spiritually, or something, whatever it is emotionally. You know, I'm always thinking about that I want my shiny yellow car, right? And we'll talk about tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk about manifesting tomorrow and get into some healing topics, because this has been so much about extraterrestrials and UFOs in the last 2 days. And I appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate everyone who's here, and I just thought it was time to kind of share some of the topics that are going out on into the world, but kind of bring us back to a place of being grounded. So we imagine our feet firmly planted in the Earth's surface, don't we? And how do we do that? We also ground ourselves and we don't have looping thoughts because we are right here in this moment. I'm holding this pen. Here's a piece of paper. And we just have gratitude for this moment. Let out a breath. Everyone be well. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, music. Thanks, Bob Harding. And thanks, everyone. I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. This weekend on Saturday, I'm having another interview with Psychic Evelyn. And she's from Scotland, so that should be exciting. And she always reads cards. So that'll be fun. And I'll upload that on Saturday. There'll probably be a premiere sometime Saturday afternoon. So I'll post, maybe it'll be like last week. It was maybe 4:30, something like that. So I hope everyone joins us. Everyone be well. Bye.